Chief, you exonerated Neff and made assumptions about what I knew at the time, but you never talked to me once. And that complaint that you were just discussing, we can discuss it as publicly as you want, because I put the video on YouTube.
Just a real quick reminder what we're looking at. This is the scene with floor shoots. Notice this is a dead-end street. We're walking across an intersection at a dead-end street, and the sidewalk just continues off into nothing. Pay attention.
Sir, can I help you with something?
Okay, did you hear the body cam come on? This is our first jumping off point. He doesn't want me following, so he's going to stop and see if he can stop me.
Did I ask for help?
No, you're just following us. I was just seeing if you need help.
I'm trying to figure out what you guys are doing.
We got a call for gunshots in the area.
Yeah, and they
I
just
heard-
came from that way over there, right?
Yeah.
So why are you
This
going
is
north?
where the original call was, so I was going to go and talk to the person who pulled it in.
Okay.
All right. There's something I can help you with?
No?
Now that's the next one, something I can help you with. Now that's exhausted his tool book. Now we're going to have to refer to threats. Pay attention.
All right. So just go ahead and stay on the sidewalk, all right?
Sir, I'm a free person. I can walk where I'd like.
Now remember where he's telling me I can't walk. This is a dead-end street. There is no traffic that's going to go across here. It's a dead end to my right.
Okay. Well, pedestrians aren't allowed in the roadway, all right?
Don't start threatening bullshit tickets with me.
I'm not.
You know there's policies against that.
I'm not threatening anything, sir.
Pedestrians are allowed in the roadway just like bikes are. Don't start doing that with me, man. You don't want to do that. Were you really going to try to write me a ticket for pedestrian in the roadway?
Sir,
No, I'm asking you, were you really going to try to write me a ticket for pedestrian in the roadway?
I'm not right now.
The line you're about to hear the chief spew about officer discretion is total bullshit. He was never going to write that ticket, and he should have used his discretion to just shut the hell up.
Another question, Board Member Bickford. It's PC 22-022. Says threat of charges to gain compliance. It says exonerated. The complaint is that this activity was done in violation of a policy, and the conclusion is that there was no policy pertaining to the complaint that was found, not whether or not the complaint was accurate. So I'm wondering if during the investigation, whether or not you found that there were charges threatened against this individual in order to gain compliance, because it sounds like that was the complaint, but the complaint was worded in such a way that this was done in violation of policy. So I'm wondering whether or not the activity itself actually happened.
Whether the threat occurred?
Yes.
The threat occurred, but it was not a violation of policy.
Is that a common tactic
Whoa.
in order to?
It is.
Wow, I was blown with the threat occurred. Chief, you just admitted to a USC violation, and then you said it's common practice. Let's listen to that again.
The threat occurred, but it was not a violation of policy.
Is that a common tactic in order to?
It
Chief,
is.
you've either got balls of steel or brains of mush, because I can't believe what we just saw. One more time, and then we'll continue on.
The threat occurred, but it was not a violation of policy.
Is that a common tactic in order to?
It is. Yes. I mean, in this situation, the person was in the street and the officer asked him to get out of the street. Being in the street where a sidewalk is provided is a violation of the law. And in this case, the person refused to comply. The officer elected to use discretion and not make an arrest in that situation.
I refused to comply because I was right. Your officer didn't use any discretion. Let's revisit that scene and see whose discretion was being used here.
What's your CAD number?
2102.
2102 floor shoots?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to be submitting a complaint about that pedestrian in the roadway thing because you do have a policy against that. And I would ask that you do not do that to citizens out here.
Okay. Sir, you were following us. I wanted you to stop following me, all right?
I'm a free person. I can be
Okay,
out
I
here
understand
and actually I can follow you. I
Okay,
have
I
I have
understand
the
that.
legal ability to follow you and observe you doing your job.
That is completely fine, but you weren't identifying yourself. I
It
don't know
doesn't
who you
matter.
are.
I don't need to identify myself. I
Okay,
haven't
and
broken
we've
any
established
laws.
that, and I
At the
said you're
point
free
that
to
I
go.
break a law, I can identify myself and I'm free to stay at the same time as I'm free to go.
The threat occurred, but it was not a violation of policy.
Is that a common tactic in order to?
It is.
Okay. Without the details of what charges were being threatened in order to gain compliance of what compliance you were looking for, without a lot of detail, it's difficult to understand that.
Yeah. The idea here is to just give you a high level view.
Mhm.
If you would like more specific information, we can do that, but we can't do that in a public meeting.
Absolutely understood. Yes. Thank you.
This is Board Member Minor. I think that would be good because the information this additional information you provided would be helpful to understand the whole picture and what was going on there.
Right. So we can do that individually. If you want to get a hold of Major Cooper, if you need further information, we can do that. We just can't do that in a public meeting. The idea of this report was to kind of give you guys an idea of what kind of complaints we investigate and to give you that snapshot. The board is only reviewing bias-based and racial-based complaints, but I felt like it was important for you to see all of our complaints. So that's how this got started.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you making the.
There was just so many lies here. I don't even know where to begin. Number one, OPA never contacts the complainant. I can't tell you how many complaints I've made. Caper, how many times did you contact me to consult me about a complaint? None. Chief, you exonerated Neff and made assumptions about what I knew at the time, but you never talked to me once. And that complaint that you were just discussing, we can discuss it as publicly as you want because I put the video on YouTube. The man didn't like me following him, videotaping him doing his job. So he decided to threaten a charge to get me to stop doing that. In other words, it's 42 USC 1983. A threat to violate, it may be 1985. 1983. It's a threat to violate civil rights under color of law. And you just admitted to it, dude. You just admitted to it in a public meeting. What is wrong with you? OPA has never contacted me once about a single complaint that I have submitted. Never. And those phone calls, they come from no caller ID, unknown number. That's how police call us. I'm not going to answer that call. So screw you guys and your lies. You guys just sit here and told them that you consult the complainants. When did you call me, Chief? Before you made that assumption. How about it, Casey? When did you call me before you let Daubert off the hook? Guys, these guys are lying to you. They're straight up freaking lying to you. And I'm going to come in here with a cart of documents next time. Because if I had all my stuff right here, right now, I could pull out the actual documents that show it. And you're going to be excited to see your own documents right next to your picture, Chief, when I put out the video. I'm not playing this game with these people anymore. I've been told that I need to fear for my life because of you people. Are you coming after me? You gonna kill me? Come get it. I'm ready to die for this. You got the wrong person, people. And if you're going to come in here lying, these people all just violated their oath to not only the department, the city, and the Constitution, but their oath as a civil human being to come in here and be honest. They won't talk about implicit bias. There's all these reasons why we can't measure that. You guys are full of shit, and you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy. You guys all underestimated me. All you people in with those badges underestimated me. You thought I was just some other jackass on the street that didn't understand things. I'm educated. I know things. I know how to do research. I'm investigating you. I've got my own mugshot book of every single one of you guys. And I'll add another one tonight since Miss Shipley came up here to the microphone. You know why I have that? So that when I talk to citizens about you guys, I can pull out the mugshots and ask them to show me which officer did it.
Michael, can you wrap up in about 30 seconds?
I'm done.
Okay.
They're lying to you guys. They're lying to you
Other
guys.
public comment on this agenda
And
item?
I'll prove it. Watch the video.
Thank you, Michael.
Jeremy Roth, Gushell, Lawrence, Kansas. Pertaining to what the previous commenter said, it would make sense for the board to inquire if it were the case that this complaint was not actually followed through to the actual core of constitutional law. Because you can have policy that you are allowed to threaten arrest if there's a crime, but we still have civil rights law, constitutional law. That's what the man was referring to, Section 1983, which came in post-Civil War when police officers and other public officials were conspiring with the Ku Klux Klan. So they were working in a private capacity, the Ku Klux Klan, but they were conspiring with public officials. So you could have a situation where it might be not against policy to threaten arrest for an action, but the constitutional case law is that it's about similarly situated people. And it has to do with whether the threat of the arrest was made in order to intimidate against a constitutionally protected right, such as the right of the press. That's a fundamental personal right. It doesn't belong to corporate paid people. It belongs to every single individual, just like freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. So just what I heard just now, it makes sense for the board to further inquire about whether, even if a policy was not broken internally in the Lawrence Police Department, whether it was done in order to intimidate in relationship specifically to the use of camera, which is a very important thing that I think a good police officers of good faith would enjoy being filmed doing their duty because they make their police department proud. So I would like to see some further interrogation of that.
And if you don't, you're advocating.
Thank you, Jeremy.
That was
All
a
right.
straight up admission, guilt sheet,
Is there any other public comment?
and I will file it.